Peace and love. How y'all doing? How y'all feeling? Let me know down in the chat. What is up, Brainy Bunch? How y'all doing? Let me know down in the chat. Okay. I'm unstoppable. I'm a butcher with no breaks. I'm invincible. All in due time, do I plan to have a lab for scientific research where I will do nothing but prove that to you guys all day. Okay, so when we get there, you feel me? Okay, that is why your girl is in school, right? Because that's my life work. We're going to not only... Well, there's already people working on meditation and stuff like that, so I'm not really focused on meditation. It's more so our psychic abilities and their linkage to our brain capacity and our conscious awareness levels. So that's like my life's work. My science life's work. Can you call it your physical life work? Yeah, I can call it my physical life work because my spiritual life work is to create world peace on this planet. You know what I'm saying? That's my spiritual mission. My physical mission is tied to my spiritual mission. But you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, with my scientific research that will help our push for world peace because it would prove that we are all, my scientific research that will help our push for world peace because it would prove that we are all, Sorry. Someone called and I thought I pressed the hang up button, but I didn't. But yeah, so definitely that's the goal there, is to use my research to help us push for world peace, to help us unite all of humanity so that we can really get into that, right? Right now, the divine revolution is afoot. It is occurring right now. We are watching it go down. And this is why I tell you guys that right now it is a spiritual warfare, an energetic warfare. Okay, the war that we are witnessing right now is not the one that is you can see physically, right? The war that we are facing right now is the one that is only attacking you energetically and attacking your spirit, okay? And if you are not staying up on your spiritual protection and you're not aware of this, I need you to lock in. You know what I'm saying? Because right now we need millions of souls to become aware of this stuff, right? Yeah, exactly, Christine. Because, you know, that's what I'm saying. I need you to become aware of this because energetically, if we're all aware and we are pushing more love and peace into this planet and justice into this planet, right? Cultivating our energy, right? And we are raising the frequency of the entire planet. You know what I'm saying? These things that these dark elites and, you know, dark entities are trying to do, they would not even phase us one bit because energetically the planet would no longer be a match for what they're trying to transpire here, right? So that's why I say, you know, pay attention to these things. The more eyes that are on the government worldwide, right? Not just the United States of America, but all the governments, you know what I'm saying? Because they're all in cahoots, they're all working together, if you know what I'm saying. Anywho, paying attention to every single one of them, then there's nothing they can do because then all of the light is on the dark. I'll say it again. There's nothing they can do with all of our eyes on them because all of the light is on the dark. Okay. You said providing good insight. Yes. Yeah, that's all I try to do, Christine. Try to make sure that everybody understands that, right? Because energetically, if we keep fighting and pushing against the governments worldwide, right, we'll start to see change, right? God is going to be able to move mountains because everybody's eyes are on these dark entities and these dark elites trying to do these things where they were doing it under the radar before, but with more people aware and paying attention, like Spirit said, all the light is on the dark. So they can't, where are they going to move? They're going to be like, where are we going? Everybody's watching us. You know what I'm saying? The government is two wings of the same bird. Period. I don't see the government, and I thank you, Legendary Experience, so much for the love. Okay, sending all the love back to you, hon. But what you call it? So I don't view it as the like the left or the right or conservatives or words, I don't care enough. Democrats, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care about all those kind of titles. That doesn't matter. I don't even believe that democracy is the best format for humanity to cultivate world peace, right? There's not enough involvement of the people at the same, and it still gives way too much power, you know what I'm saying, to people who have wicked agendas, you know what I'm saying? So it's just, I don't agree that democracy is the best format for peace worldwide. I don't believe that communism is the best format for peace worldwide. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe giving people too much authority over the larger amount of people is a good idea. You know what I'm saying? When you watch a lot of these dystopian world shows and movies, you see a lot of the time you see what they do is they create a council, right? And a lot of the time those councils still don't have more majority vote over the people in those towns, right? We're talking about The Walking Dead. It wasn't until Rick had passed away that Michonne stopped letting the townspeople get a vote on things and stuff like that because she was scared for her children and her safety and the rest of her friends and family safety. Understandable, but at the same time, no, that's when you step down and let somebody else lead, so that you can go heal. But in that sense, where everybody is gets a fair input to what happens in our communities, in our society, around the world. You know what I'm saying? There's a better way to do it than what we're doing now, and we all have to agree around the planet on it. You know what I'm saying? It can't be some people do it this way and some people do it that way. We need a system that creates peace for all of us. You know what I'm saying? And not just for some of us, you know what I'm saying? While other people are being slaved away, or other people are, being kept in their country and they can't leave their country. You know what I'm saying? Like, unless they're rich. You know what I'm saying? So it's like what? So, no. Like, there's... I can't, Russia's a problem, China's a problem, America's a problem. Let's talk about it. You know what I'm saying? The three world powers are a problem because one wants this thing and the other wants this thing, but neither of them can agree on how to come together peacefully. That's a problem. You know what I'm saying? You can't be the world powers and y'all don't even know how to come together peacefully. That is literally a spell for disaster. We're not here for it. We're not doing that this lifetime. Y'all just gonna have to take the back seat on this one. And light will always win. Love will always win. You know what I'm saying? It's just more of us have to keep cultivating it here on this planet and showing them that we are not gonna back down to darkness and hatred. Okay? Alrighty. Don't allow your souls to give in to those kind of things, all right? Now is not the time for that. Now is not the time to be spreading negative energies, okay? It definitely is all about the money. And that's why I say all the governments are connected. All the governments are working together. I mean, we all know that they meet once a year, every 5 years. And then it might be, don't quote me, it might be every decade. But the world, they do have those meetings where important leaders from multiple different countries, not everybody, but multiple different countries are coming into a room and having a meeting about the world and what is going on in the world and how we should move forward in the world. You're not going to tell me that's not a world government. I don't care. NATO and BRICS is a world government form. They work together. They're not separate. Because how else can you explain the situation in the format of this planet? You know what I'm saying? How else could you explain why planet Earth, it looks like the way it does, but you're telling me someone's supposed to be the good guy and someone's supposed to be the bad guy? That's how they've written it in the history books, is that those people don't agree with us, so they're bad people. Those people don't agree with us, so they're bad people. We had to go over there because we wanted something, because we couldn't agree on how to be human beings. So, like, no, that right there, so, no. Foolishness. But then they can sit in a room and, foolishness. You're not going to tell me that governments don't work together, because then it's like, okay, well, America and Russia don't like each other, but Trump been awfully friendly with that guy in Russia over there. You know what I'm saying? His name Putin or whatever. But he been awfully friendly with him over there. You know what I'm saying? So, you're not going to tell me they don't work together. You're not. I'm sorry. Because it's too obvious, especially if you follow all the money. You know what I'm saying? If you were to sit there and, like, if we had a master hacker, oh, thank you. I'm pretty young, but we had a master hacker who can get into, certain accounts and see where this money was going. You know what I'm saying? All you have to do is look at the money trail, and you'll be sitting there like, yeah, wait, hold on. Because they was in cahoots here, because the money goes right here into this account, but then it goes over here to this account. Wait a second now. The governments just hope we're not smart enough to ever band together with the really intelligent hackers, and look into things. You know what I'm saying? They're just hoping we're not on that tip yet, especially with as much technology there is, right? And how many, hackers there are. Not like a huge sum of hackers, but like, just you only need, like, I feel like you only need a good 10 to 20 hackers and you're locked in. You know what I'm saying? A good 10 to 20 hackers and you're locked in. Alright, the government's not stopping nobody at this point, because you got millions of people backing you, plus you got these hackers who are hacking into the government frame and everything. CIA can't stop them, FBI can't stop them, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you had somebody on your team like that, and a few good group of them, y'all, I mean, there's so many ideas. I mean, like, I have so many ideas for this divine spiritual revolution. I'm just waiting for the rest of the collective to be ready. At this point, you know what I'm saying? Like, I promise you, if you're talking about a revolution, I've been dreaming about the revolution. Can I say, since the Hamilton musical came out? Yes, I think that Hamilton musical really did something for me, you guys, right? I wasn't fully aware, but it really sparked something in me where I was like, you're right! Things don't sit right with my soul about how things look on this planet right now. You're right. There will be a revolution in this century. Absolutely, 100%, and will be before I leave this planet. I ain't playing no games. Okay. Don't know about y'all, but that's all I talk about for real, y'all. We do tarot. We talk about spiritual knowledge. Sometime I go on rants about the government, you know what I'm saying, and what we really need to do to stand up and come together so that we can take back what's rightfully ours. Alright, goodbye, spirit. But yeah, that's what we do over here, you know what I'm saying? It's always a good time. Right? We're serious when we have to be serious. We're goofy when we, it's time to play and have fun. But hey, all in a day's work. Okay? If you learned something, I'm grateful. If you got messages from the divine, I'm grateful. Right? If you realize that the government is all working with one another and that's why they're getting ready to ban anime, because anime talks about how banding together is okay. Anywho, but you know what I'm saying. Just pay attention, guys, because there is a lot going on behind the scenes, but there's a lot of things that are being brought to the forefront right now that God is showing you that is getting done. Okay, I tell you, there's a lot of people on God's list. Okay, do not end up on that list by doing low vibrational wickedness things right now. Okay, stay high vibrational, stay loving. Okay, but those people on this list, you're going to start seeing them be plucked off the planet one by one by one. You know what I'm saying? And we've already seen this within this last year, okay, with already 3 major names taken off the map. If you know the 3 major names, if not, we got the CEO of that healthcare insurance policy thingy. We got the Pope. The Pope was making demonic circles last Christmas. So yeah, got the Pope. Then you got Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk, if you don't know who Charlie Kirk is, you don't really need to look him up. He was a racist, who spreaded hate and lies, and confusion with his every waking moment. So you don't really need to look him up. But, pray for mercy for their souls, but don't shed no tears. Okay? Alright. I'm going to be honest about that. We love them and we respect them as human beings, okay? But we're not going to shed tears for them, okay? We're not going to shed tears for them. Period. No, you can text me anytime. If you ever want to talk about any of this stuff, you're welcome anytime to join us here when we are live, okay? I see you already followed, so you'll get the notifications when we go live. But yeah. So definitely, I'm here for you guys anytime, and I love talking with you guys. You guys are welcomed here. We are Soul Tribe. If you was guided to come into my live today and you sticked around, right, that was God placing you here for a reason. I don't believe in coincidences, and I pray before I come live. So I don't believe in coincidences. If you're here right now and vibing with me, that's because it's meant to be. Period. All right. So if you ever want to reach out to me, DMs on TikTok is always open, right? I also have Discord. I feel like, Discord makes it easier for more like intricate, deeper conversations, right? We also have the voice call on Discord, so we can call each other, and I want to be able to do that, especially with our honorary Soul Tribe family members who have the subscriptions, so that we can have those deeper conversations, not on live, but still as a community, and still as a Soul Tribe, you know what I'm saying? Because that's also why I have multiple different apps, because you never know what this musking room rat of a government is going to try and pull. Okay, I want you to understand they have more control over our phones and our devices than we believe. Okay, they can shut down all of our phones instantaneously at the same time without an issue. So we need to have other formats of being able to contact our Soul Tribe family. You know what I'm saying? We just have to have other methods. Okay, I don't know. I saw a guy on the internet the other day. He was trading pigeons. Okay, I don't know. We might have to bring it back. Okay, just for the divine revolution. You feel what I'm saying? We might have to bring back the pigeon message sending. You know what I'm saying? Just low key. But there's just different things we have to think outside the box, because especially with this being a spiritual warfare, you know what I'm saying, we can't how they have it set up, we can't charge in the streets right now. You know what I'm saying? Because how they have it set up, they're trying to make sure that they can bring out martial law. If martial law goes down, it's a wraps, guys. I don't know about y'all, but all things are off table. Everything is off the table at this point. On, off table, it don't matter at this point. Fight for your life and to survive. Okay, but that is only if we go down that, right? If we play it smart, we can really pull the rug from out under their feet. But you know, that would be a better outcome for us all. And you know, it looks like the collective is being patient for the long con. So I'm here for it. As long as, you know, these dark elites and stuff don't continue to rule and everybody is aware that they should not be able to continue to rule, that I'm okay. All right, so yeah, that's you know, I just think about that because y'all saw how they try to ban TikTok from the United States of America. You know what I'm saying? If you had a VPN, you wasn't really too pressed about it, but you know what I'm saying? Like if you're a TikTok user. Earlier in the year, they tried to ban TikTok. You know what I'm saying? They did it for a few hours, and then they was like, sorry guys, you know, we were just testing the water here. Wanted to see if you guys would start a revolution over an app. Apparently not, because nobody was in the street on that app. But it's okay. Y'all can have it back. We'll be nice. Like, y'all are doing us a favor or something, but still, so you know, you never know at any time when they could do this with any of the apps on our phone. I mean, they already trying to bully Apple, you know. Oh, it's way controlled. It's very controlled. TikTok was the first news outlet that was the least censored. Okay, you could know about anything and everything on TikTok before that ban. Anything and everything. After the ban, right, and after they just made this purchase, you could tell that TikTok is not the same. Okay? You could just tell. You be looking at it and you like, something's not right. Algorithm's not right. You know, there's a lot of things. A lot of spiritual creators have been being pushed to the background. Like usually they're it really was great. Yes, I've been seeing this a lot. Is the traffic to the spiritualist content they're trying to hide, and it's all because what the things that we're saying goes directly against them, as well as we're bringing attention and light to the situations that are happening energetically and spiritually around us, and you know they scared because it's gonna bring people back to God, and you can't do what you're trying to do in the dark if God is light is all around. You know what I'm saying? So they scared of us the most right now. So that's why they're putting us on this back burner of this algorithm. But hey, we're still going to be doing whatever we're doing. They're all connected. I wouldn't even separate them. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't even separate them. They friends, besties, you know what I'm saying, the same group, you know, is not even a separation, right? When we talk about Illuminati, when we talk about the government and these elites, when we talk about the world government, right, all in cahoots. There's those people at the top of the world with clear skies on this road. Right, there's those people at the top of the world that have all this money, trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars that somehow lost their humanity while doing it, and then they just don't care about everybody else who don't have trillions of dollars. And so they make wicked plans that keep them and make sure they have trillions of dollars, you know? You too, have a blessed day. I hope to see you next time, okay? Yeah, but they literally do that to make sure that they have trillions and trillions of dollars, and then that the people below them, you know. And if you watch One Piece, this is why I said they're going to be they want to take away animes and stuff like that, different forms of expression, freedom of speech, anything that goes against the government's regime and what their agenda is, it's gotta go, is what basically Trump is saying to y'all. So, if it's a book, if it's music, if it's some video, you know what I'm saying? If it's any version of your freedom of speech, which your freedom of speech is also your freedom to create. Oh. I don't know about y'all, but that was deep. Because I was like, oh, wait, but yeah, okay, period. That definitely is spirit. I like that. It is your freedom to create as well, right? If you don't have, especially for a lot of us content creators, right, our ability to say what our opinions are, what we feel, our beliefs, you know what I'm saying, our ethics, our morals, like being able to freely speak on those things, being able to freely make content, make creation, our voices are our creation, you know what I'm saying? That's so, it's like for content creators, it's very much so like that is a direct hit towards our freedom to create, as well as our freedom of speech, which is something that I don't know what matrix society is on right now, but I thought we all understood that our freedom to say what we wanted to say out of our mouths have never been appointed to us by men, by humankind. Never did humans give other humans the ability to talk. That didn't happen. I don't know where you read that at, because that never happened. But you giving someone the right to do it, even though you understood that it was a God-given right. So then why did we have to make a law on it? I mean, I understand like hate speech and there's certain things you shouldn't say because you need to watch your mouth and, check yourself before somebody else check you, because you don't want God to check you. You know what I'm saying? But there's certain things you should not be saying. Yeah, understand things like that. But, hate speech, racism, you know what I'm saying? We want to keep the peace. So anything that would disturb the peace is gotta go. But you cannot tell me that using my voice and whether or not I get to use my voice and how I use my voice, not talking about in the way that disturbs peace. I'm talking about how I use my voice in a peaceful manner that isn't, disrespectful or disturbing of peaceful intentions in the planet. How is that something you can give and take with a law? You know what I'm saying? How is that something you can give and take if we all understood that it was a God-given right? I don't have a voice because a human granted me permission to speak. I have a voice because God said, oh, here you go, child. So how are you going to be the one to be like, oh, well, you can't use that voice of yours that you have been given by God, obviously, you know what I'm saying? You can't use it anymore. Like, who are you? Because we might all be God, but you are not the creator, so you don't make that decision. And you can't take my voice away from me like you were the creator, because you don't have that kind of ability. So, and this is why I tell y'all to stop giving y'all power up to these governments. You know what I'm saying? Because you are literally giving your God-given powers up to them. Alright, nobody can tell me nothing. I don't care what they do about this First Amendment, because at the end of the day, I'm going to still use my voice. I'm going to still use my power. And if they want to try me, they can clock it. Okay? You know what I'm saying? Like, I told y'all, I don't care. Okay? Now, I don't want to see blood in the street, but if they come for me, they come for me. That's all I'm saying. Like I said, I don't condone violence, but if they started, they started. And I'm going to still say what I got to say. You know what I'm saying? I have this thing where Spirit won't let me not say it. Okay? Alright? If Spirit put it in my chest to say, okay, and it's on my heart, right, I have to say it. I have to. If I don't say it, it's going to eat away at me, and it's going to be like, you should say it, you should say it, you should say it, you should say it. I'm already ADHD. I don't need my thoughts going, you should say it, you should say it, say that thing, say that thing. Like, oh my goodness, leave me alone. But seriously. Right? I'm going to say what I have to say. Okay? Against this government, okay, I don't really care. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've not liked this government for a really long time. And there's little things within my life that you could say they even amplified that for themselves. But, it's it's healed trauma. So it's not really like it's really amplified. It's just that I remember that. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I remember what harm you caused, to the structure of my family because you thought Afghanistan and Iraq were good wars to fight in. Yes, I remember that. I remember that you decided it was good wars to fight in. So I remember that because, it did shift the entire dynamic of my family. So I remember that. So, me and the government are already not in good cahoots. You know what I'm saying? We are not on good terms. I don't like them. I haven't liked them my entire life. And you best believe when these people, okay, what was it? I had completely sassed this one sergeant. They were recruiting people for the military, forgot whatever it was, but they hit me up on some job website and were like, oh my goodness, you'd be a perfect fit, for a recruit for the military. And I looked at them and I was like, honey bookie child, I would never join this military. First off, I don't like America. Second off, I would, in the state of the way this country is right now, I promise you, if the president tells me to harm an innocent citizen, I promise you, we will be oppositions. We will no longer be on the same team. I told the sergeant this. I said, if you point your weapon, okay, at an innocent citizen on American soil, I promise you, me and you are no longer on the same team. I am now hopping over onto the citizens team, and me and you will fight. You know what I'm saying? We will not be brothers in arms. Okay, like, I will switch up on you. I told him that. I promise you. I literally typed that in the thing. I was like, I promise you, if Donald Trump tells any of the military to, like, and I'm a part of the military, you know what I'm saying? If I were to join you guys and the president decides that we finna go against our own citizens, I promise you, is no longer me with y'all. It's me and the citizens against y'all. So, and now you've given me all the training that I need to take y'all out. You feel what I'm saying? So I told straight, I was like, honestly, you don't want me to join your ranks because honestly, I'm just doing it so I can be one day your ops. You know, I'm not playing with you. I don't like the government, and enough to tell you that to your face that I will be your op. Okay, because I don't want to see the government succeed. I don't want to see the government succeed. I don't care about it. Because it could be better. It could be 100 times better. We could do a lot better, and we should just dismantle the entire thing and come up with a whole new plan. That's where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? Just dismantle the entire thing and come up with an entire new plan. One that works for the entire world. You know, where something we can all agree on so that we can build the utopia that God has set for us. I mean, literally set the table. All we got to do is decorate, and somehow we keep messing that up. So now is the time to fix it. You know, now is the time to fix it. Okay, so let's clear off their demonic rituals from the table, and let's bring in the light and the love that God really wanted on planet Earth. Okay. All right, their demonic stuff, it's gotta leave. It's gotta leave. Nobody thought the table was gonna look gothic for a second until these dark elites came up and they started decorating the table, and all you seen was sacrifice here, sacrifice there, weird ornaments there, weird altar pieces there. You know what I'm saying? Maybe some not knocking any of my light witches who use skull and bones, but you might see some skull and bones in there. I'm like, no, we gotta reset the table, guys. The table look a mess. Okay, table looks a mess. All right, it really looked like somebody vomited on this table. That was living there, and I have nothing against gothic people, but they was just living a little too much in their gothic fantasy when they was prepping this table. The dark elites and the and these dark entities, they were just having a little too much fun with the gothic theme here, and God said we got to go ahead and like pull the rug from out the table, throw the stuff out, and set a new loving and peaceful table for the world. Where we can really create the utopia that we were meant to have here. You know what I'm saying? That we were meant to have here. I don't know about y'all, but I'm ready for the Garden of Eden to come back. I don't know about y'all, but I don't know. It's ghetto out here, okay? And the Garden of Eden, you know what I'm saying? It was lit. So I think we should go back to that. I think we should create a world with where we experience the Garden of Eden again. You know what I'm saying? Not whatever kicked out for the Garden of Eden for billions of years type of path we've taken. Okay, I think we should have been working a lot harder to get back into the Garden of Eden, because God is a loving and forgiving God. You know what I'm saying? God is, yeah. So it was. I always tell people, it was never about the fact that they had lied. It was the fact they didn't take accountability, right? Spirit had made these beings to be perfect in their image, meaning humans are the perfect form of God's energy in the physical. We are the most perfect form physically that inherits God's will, inherits God's energy, the soul, right? God's breath of life, okay? The most perfect form to inherit that. So what? So God has the ability that if they were to make something, do something, that wasn't in full light, because understand that God is energy, meaning that God is duality, right? If we understand that God is energy, we understand that God is duality. So God is light and God is dark, right? God is yin and yang. God is balance of these energies, okay? Absolute stillness of these energies, okay? Being able to use either one, either negative, positive charge. When you understand that everything is energy, all those things in science start to make sense. But with us being these perfect vessels in the physical realm that inherit God's breath of life, a piece of God, right? God had expected for us as humans to understand that, with that God head, right, having that the brain, okay, God head, right, having that the brain, okay, that connection to God. God thought in that situation that it was going to be where they took accountability, because God would have taken accountability for something in that situation. So getting kicked out the Garden of Eden was a punishment for a lesson. But I promise you, ain't not a single human in that Bible had learned a lesson except for a few of them. I'm not even gonna cap to y'all, right? And that's why it's taking us so long to get back to the Garden of Eden, because Eve and Adam are sitting here and they're like, we can never go back, so we're gonna be musty and crusty for the rest of our lives. And then we're going to pass down the musty crustiness, because in our head, it's not as simple as you got the tree of knowledge. You now know between dark and evil, dark, evil, and good and light, right? So now you should have the understanding to understand that you need to do better. You know what I'm saying? You need to do better spiritually, as physically. Like, you need to do better in that regard, right? And teach better. Teach from your mistakes. Don't pass down generational curses. You know what I'm saying? The reason we're not in the Garden of Eden is because Adam and Eve passed all of us down a generational curse. That now, guess what? We all have to fix. It's not that this is not something that we can fix one-on-one. It's not something where it's just our specific bloodline that was passed down has these generational curses. This is something that the first two human models were cursed with, and then every bloodline that sprouted out from that were also cursed. Okay? And honestly, we can change it if we really band together. Y'all think, I don't know, God is very forgiving, right? I don't know about you guys. God is very forgiving, and we really make the effort to show God universe that we want peace on this planet and we want to live peacefully, right? God gonna do it. Garden of Eden back. Boom. Here y'all go. Have it. Period. Y'all did good work. Y'all didn't realize that God was been teaching us a billion year lesson. And that's how to come together as human beings, right? How to come together as sentient beings when we are all the same person. Sorry, all the same energy. We are all the same energy, right? We are all God. Confirmation with God coming in the chat. Period. We are all God. Grand Rising. Okay. Yeah, because once we realize that, seriously, we could really do better things on this planet and for this planet, right? For each other. And it's all about due timing. It will come. Okay, we will cultivate it, right? We won't, world peace is not going to be accomplished over a night. You know what I'm saying? I don't even see it being within the next decade. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's still so much for us to do, right? Before we could consider this planet to be one of peace. Okay, so, and I'm talking, worldwide, you know what I'm saying? Not just one country is having a peaceful time while another country is going through famine and war and no, I mean, everybody is at peace. Okay, nobody got issues with so-and-so, nobody got issues with that country, you know what I'm saying? Like, no issues. Okay, terrorist group taken down, you know what I'm saying? Like, anything that no longer serves this planet is gotta get gone. You know what I'm saying? It's gotta go. I know that wasn't proper English, but y'all know I don't really care sometimes. I know the level of my intelligence. Okay, I really don't care what other people think. Okay. So you guys see me talk very proper sometimes, and then sometimes I my dialect switches up. So it really just depends on the day. But like I said, these things that no longer serve our planet, right? They gotta go. They can't stay here when we're building this utopia. And remember, destruction isn't always destruction. Destruction is a form of creation, right? Because in order to get rid of new things, in order to place new things, you have to get rid of old things. Okay, so and people could see destruction as a bad thing, right? Some people might hear that God Shiva, is the god of destruction, but God of destruction doesn't mean, he's causing chaos. You know what I'm saying? That's not what that means. God Shiva is not the god of chaos. God Shiva is the god of destruction, meaning that anything that no longer serves you in your life, they come and destroy. Okay, making room for the new things that do serve you and for this lifetime in. Okay, so I don't know. Maybe God Shiva is one of your spirit guides. I know God Shiva is one of my spirit guides, and I really try to help people understand their role as a deity, okay, and what it really means. Okay, to be a god of destruction does not mean that you are causing chaos. Okay. But a lot of people confuse chaos and destruction, you know? But I forget the line. No, I think that one was every act is an act of creation. But that's true too. Anytime energy is in motion, it's in creation, right? But we're always in motion because we're in the time and space. So we're always creating. We're always creating. You know what I'm saying? Every act we take, every step we take, every move we make, is always creating. And then you guys know that there are multiple timelines. Okay, so and this is why I tell you guys with the readings that literally the timelines can shift is something that wasn't accounted for or a decision changed. You know what I'm saying? So, there's little things that we as tarot readers cannot control, right? And especially if you're asking a reading about another human being, right? We cannot control the outcome of what that other human being actually does. You know what I'm saying? We can steer you in the direction that the Lord has for this connection, and what's going on with it, right? But if that person makes a major switch up, like this person could be something drastic on the timeline, like doing something to your hair or going to a place that you weren't previously thinking about going to, right? It's anything that shifts the timeline. So something that wasn't on that timeline, wasn't supposed to occur, then occurs. Then now you got timelines stacked on timelines. You know what I'm saying? So now every action you take leads to a different outcome. All right. So that is why I'm tell you guys to take the reading seriously. Because, especially since I'm trying to get you guys to your destiny timelines, right? So, Spirit is going to give us the messages that are needed to get you to your destiny timeline and push you further on that journey. Okay. So when you don't take the guidance that the Lord has for you, right? That it's, and this is, and that's why I charge, you know what I'm saying? Because at this, it's like, yes, the guidance, if you could do it yourself, it'd be free. But, I just don't like people who are going to get a free reading and still disrespect the practice. I just don't like that. And, the collective reading and the giveaways, right? That's the only free readings I am really okay with at this time. I know we were trying to see if anything else worked. But at this moment, right, we're still going to just not really go into that part because, like I said, we need to respect each other's time and energy. All right. You guys know that I use multiple of my spiritual gifts when doing tarot. So yeah, we're I don't know how we're doing that. Just because it's just about a respect thing with tarot. Like, I take this very seriously, guys. I've been doing this for 6 years, okay, and plan to do it for the rest of my life. So, it is something that is very serious. Because I don't know, I don't know you guys. I don't play about magic. I don't play about energy, right? Those are just things I don't play about in this world anymore. Magic is energy. Energy is magic. One is just a term they use because they couldn't understand it, and the other is a term they scientifically proven but still have not connected those dots somehow. Yeah. So, anything else I have for you guys today, really? So, I don't know if we're going to be still doing the free readings. I want you guys to keep paying attention and staying aware and making sure you're staying up, staying high vibrational, staying up on positivity, right? Drinking your water, eating good, right? Doing what it is you need to do for your spiritual hygiene, your divinity. Okay, Stay up in your prayer, your spiritual protection, right? There's a lot of people on God's list, right? Pray for their mercy from the Lord, but don't boohoo for them, okay? A lot of these people that you're gonna see get got, especially these people with high statures, right? They got influence, or so to speak, right? They well-known people. You're gonna keep seeing well-known people who did not work for light, right? They worked for wickedness. So those people are gonna keep getting got and plucked off the planet one by one by one. Not too fast now, Spirit said. Not too fast. It looks suspicious if I start plucking them all out at once, because then people start making plans on how to try to cheat perishment. So, gotta do it slowly, Spirit said. Okay, Spirit. Anywho, like I said, pray for pray for mercy on their souls, but you don't have to boo-hoo for them, don't have to cry for them, feel bad for them, right? Just pray for their mercy, because wherever God is sending them, it's already wraps. You know what I'm saying? They don't get a second chance from that, right? They dug their hole. They have to deal with it. It is what it is. You feel me? So just making sure, you're paying attention to those kind of things, paying attention. I'm not saying be scared. Don't feed into fear right now, especially when it comes to if you're in the United States of America. Don't feed into fear right now, right? That's what they want you to do. Okay, they want you to panic and act out and act crazy, crash out. You know what I'm saying? But I need you to keep a clear, leveled head, stay grounded. Okay, because right now we are in a standstill for the spiritual warfare. Okay, and I would not like to see this be escalated into the streets. I'd rather us perform the BC, the BC, so that we can, and I already know I talked about this on live the other day, so it really doesn't matter, but I'm still all down for the bloodless coup. So regardless, we could do it. We could do the bloodless coup. We could really take over the entire world government. As long as there's millions of us, billions of us, right? But it has to be in the millions, and we have to work together, right? We have to come up with a plan. Okay, I need everybody to stop acting like their lives are going normally right now. I don't know why people are sitting here acting like the government ain't a hot mess and that they are living their day-to-day life like their life has not been uprooted since COVID. Stop. Okay. Like, let's be so for real. Okay, nothing has been normal since COVID, so let's stop acting like it's normal. Okay, we can take off the mask. Okay, we can take off the veil. Okay, we can stop acting and pretending like things are normal. Okay, they're not normal. Things are very weird right now. Things are going on that only the divine can explain right now, because of the way the divine is preparing for this planet to shift and change for the better and the positive. So yes, it's gonna look a little chaotic and bumpy right now, but still, we can all agree that what we are seeing in our reality is not the normal world that we perceived before COVID-19. So let's stop acting like you want to pay those bills and go to work. Okay, can we all agree on that at least? Come on, I know you don't want to go to work, bro. Unless you really love your job and it's what your soul has called you to do. Period. But if you're miserable at your job, why are you still going? The world is falling apart around you and you're still going to work? Stop. What are you going to do during what are you going to do if we were to have a zombie apocalypse? I would be really worried for you right now. Because you would be that person still at work, not paying attention to anything that was going on around them. And when the zombie apocalypse break up, oh wait, COVID. What you were doing during COVID and how that's exactly what you're going to be doing during the zombie apocalypse. And how COVID played out is exactly how the zombie apocalypse would end the world. I just want you guys to know that, because of how it spread so fast, and then y'all seen that it was airborne. You know what I'm saying? So if the zombie virus was airborne, we'd all be, you know what I'm saying, royally screwed. So we just lucky that the COVID wasn't the zombie apocalypse at this point. Like, we are so lucky that wasn't the zombie apocalypse, because it really could have been. It really could have been. You know what I'm saying? It really could have been. It could have been the zombie apocalypse, you know, but it still broke society, as we knew it. Okay, it still damaged the society, and the illusion of what society was. Okay, it destroyed all that still, and you know, so you know, when people are like, oh, you know, things are gonna be normal, we're coming back to, you know, things are coming back into normal. Like, what is normal? What is normal? Working that 9-to-5 job you hate? I bet you had the best time of your life sitting in that house for those months. You might have been bored a little bit, but you got creative. Some of y'all got creative out here and figured out a way to have fun in your house. But once you start going back to work, you was like, dang, I low-key miss it. Like, I don't miss that everything was shut down and, we had to live our best life behind our own four walls. But I do miss the freedom of not having to go to work just to pay my bills. Right? And I think that's what that's why a lot of people woke up in 2020 as well. You know what I'm saying? That's why a lot of people energetically woke up as well, because when that happened and literally shifted a lot of people's psyches to realize that this, society is not what it seems, and we can make it whatever we dreamed. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be this rat race these elites came up with. So a lot of people had that shift in mentality during COVID, but there's people who didn't, right? And they was eager to get back to work. But I bet now they're looking at the world and they going, yeah, I don't know about this game. Yeah, because it's ghetto. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I don't know what's going on with planet Earth other than God is making moves right now. That's the only thing I could tell you as a spiritualist, is that God is making heavy moves right now, and that's why I look a little chaotic. But you know what I'm saying? Because y'all know I tell y'all the example with the mountain. If God were to move Mount Everest to the other side of the world, physically, y'all would be panicking thinking it was the end of the world. So, anywho, even with turbulence right now, all we're feeling is a little spiritual turbulence. Okay, so yeah, the spiritual turbulence y'all seeing in the world right now, even with that even knowing the spiritual turbulence, I'm still trying to figure out how y'all still going to work, paying y'all bills, and looking at the government like, y'all got us, right? They're not doing the thumbs up back. You know what I'm saying? They're not giving me a sign that they're going to, work with me here, work with the citizens here. They're not doing that. None of the governments are doing that right in the second. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if they're posing that they're standing up for their citizens in certain situations, you know what I'm saying? It's still not enough. It's still not enough. It's still not enough. No, right? Because no. So yeah, definitely, people still relying on this government is what really gets me in today's times. You know what I'm saying? Because what are they doing that you even trust? Like, what are they doing that's allowing you to trust them? Stop it. You should have realized after COVID that they couldn't. I mean, hold on. Let's be honest. Let's take it back. You should have realized the government couldn't be trusted since. Let's go back to Hamilton's financial plan. Okay, Hamilton's financial plan. Okay, then the next incident, it would have been, Reagan. And then the next incident would have been Bush, right? And then the next incident would have been, Trump, right? And then you would really look at this country and you go, So if we go back all the way to when the founding fathers came up with the system of how we were going to exchange money and get rid of debt, but somehow still collect more debt. That's what I'm trying to figure out. This is why I'm mad at Hamilton. Y'all know Hamilton, my favorite musical, but I'm still mad at bro. Okay, I don't care. Alexander Hamilton came up with the financial system plan, and you know, he was a part of the revolution and everything. Okay, for the revolution, but still. I'm mad at Hamilton because why did you create a plan that's got America in trillions of dollars of debt in 2025? I wonder if we could go ask Alexander Hamilton with the tarot cards and be like, bro, did you ever think that America was going to be trillions of dollars in debt with this stupid plan of yours? Nah, because it was just to assume everybody's debt and so that, you know, the nation wouldn't technically go broke. But we broke her. No, I'm done. I'm done, guys. Good night. Have a great day. We weren't supposed to become broke, and then here, look, guys, we're broke. We're broke. Okay, America is broke. It is broker than your broke bestie who is 2 years old at your crib. Okay, broke. Right? America doesn't even have a pot to piss in. Broke. Alright, it's bad. Bad. And that's why I'm upset with Alexander Hamilton, okay, because what is going on with the financial state of this country, it's bad. Like, what? Okay, and then let's talk about the Great Depression for a little bit. You know, I'm going on a tangent right now, y'all, so just bear with me. Okay, but the Great Depression, who decided that we was all finna go work for these bills? Why? If the government collapses and people are struggling to make ends meet, not the rich, of course. These rich people still making money off. They've always done this, right? But not the rich. But if everybody else, there's no middle class because everybody's struggling. But if everybody's struggling except the rich, you know, I feel like the Great Depression was that chance for all the people that was struggling to really look the rich in the face and tell them, yeah, no, this not working for us no more. Cause what? I promise. No. If we ever do some stuff like that again, I promise you, it's not going down the same way. Y'all not getting us back into this race ever again. I promise you. Let there be another situation with the government like the Great Depression. Promise you, ain't nobody working ever again. Nobody will ever go back to work. I promise you that. Okay, and we're gonna really have to figure out something else because capitalism will be literally done for at that point. I don't know about y'all because at the point we are at in this world, I don't think nobody really wants to work no more. Right, I think this concept of the 9-to-5 jobs and these jobs and paying to survive on the planet when you should have all your basic necessity needs, survival needs met already, and anything else that you want should then be a privilege or something that you have to go get. But you know what I'm saying? But you can't tell me that you know your necessary needs, your survival needs shouldn't already be accounted for and met. Right? Everybody should have land. Everybody should have food. I mean, especially the food. The food should be free. If it's outside in nature, just doing its thing, it should be free. I don't know why we charging for food that grows on trees, grows in the wilderness. I mean, God literally has these animals reproducing and stuff, so it's not like we have to reproduce them. They'll do it all on their own. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how the natural order of things work. You know what I'm saying? Without reproduction, survival doesn't make sense. Okay, humans do the same thing. Anywho. So it's like, that stuff is free. You know what I'm saying? It's really free 99 out here, and they charging you something that's free. So it's like, the only thing I can see them charging you food-wise are the things that they make in a freaking lab. You know what I'm saying? That makes sense. Charge people for the products that you manufactured in a lab. That's fine. It makes sense. It was in a lab. It's not actual food anyway. Okay. So you know what I'm saying? But the food that is free without y'all is still going to be free with y'all. You know what I'm saying? And that's why they try to get rid of all the female trees and make it all the male trees, because the female trees are the trees that reproduce and the ones that have the fruits naturally, and it will keep bringing back harvest. You know what I'm saying? That's why they switched out all. That's why there's barely any female trees unless you like own a farm or something like that, or you know live in a certain part of the world. But not really in the United States of America. There's not many female trees left, right? So that's why they do it, because they don't want you having free food. That's demonic. Like, think about that for a second. The reason they replaced all the female trees for male trees, so the female trees couldn't reproduce fruits and vegetables if they're a vegetable plant, right? So the reason they do that with the trees is so that if you are struggling financially and you can't make ends meet and you can't buy your food, it's to make sure that you can't just go to a random tree and pluck up the food to survive for the next day. That's evil. That's demonic. That's demonic. How do you even come up with something like that? That's demonic planning right there. Because how do you come up with something like that? Right? You can't tell me you go around, because that's with us as, you know, and I tell you this, when you have a pure heart, something like that never crosses your mind. Something that evil, that dark, never crosses your mind. You know what I'm saying? Because it would never cross my mind that because I want people to buy food at my grocery stores, right, where I'm selling them the stuff that grows in nature and is reproduced in nature for free. I'm selling it back to them like, you know, God didn't already make it there for them for free. But I'm selling it back, but I want to make sure that they can only get the food from me. Like, are you guys hearing this stuff? This is how the government thinks. This is literally how they plan. You can't have a free grocery store tree because I want all the money for me. And the tree isn't a grocery store, but y'all know what I'm saying. But you can't have the free fruit on the tree because these people want all the money for themselves. Right? An apple is free 99, but somebody finna charge you almost $1 for that apple. What? That apple I could pick for free off the tree, you're charging me $1 for? I know it's $1, but still, guys, like, make it make sense. It's insanity. That is insanity. That we have not peeped the game on certain things like that. You know what I'm saying? Then ask yourself why we have all these free foods, you know, by saying I don't care if you eat meat or if you eat plants, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't really matter. All that stuff is free. It's in nature. You literally cannot avoid it when in nature. Okay, it's free. So, them, right? I said if they're going to charge for anything, it's going to be all that manufactured lab-made food that they got, right? All that stuff that sits on shelves for months and months and months. Yeah, all of that. Unperishable, yeah, that stuff, okay, that's not actually food. You know, I understand if they wanted to sell that, sure, but nobody would buy it if they could get the free stuff off the market. But if people didn't have that food either, and they only had the free food that they're selling back to you, right, then it also would go into the healthcare industry, okay, because then people wouldn't be as unhealthy as they are because they aren't selling you back things or, you know, selling these products that aren't actually food. They're more chemical than nutrients, you know what I'm saying? And with that being said, right, if they didn't sell any of that and only what was true to the planet, you know, then let's go over to the healthcare industry. There wouldn't be a reason for Big Pharma, and Big Pharma wouldn't exist. You know why? Because if everybody realized that you could eat You can go to the store and get these foods sold back to you, even though they free 99 out of a garden in your backyard. But still, you know what I'm saying? If you realize that with plants, you realize that plants can heal you and that you don't actually need big pharma. Oh my goodness, you telling me the way they run the grocery stores and the way their healthcare system is ran is so intertwined? It is. It's connected, right? It's all about money. Then we can bring in systemic racism. We can bring in the jail systems. We can bring in the schools, right? We can talk about all these little things that they have interconnected with the same goal in mind. Everything they set up against us, right? Doesn't matter if you're a person of color or not, but everything they've set up against us has always come back to a single notion, to a single goal. They just want to be richer than everybody else. That's it. That's all. That's all, the guys. They just want to be richer than everybody else. It's just about money. Money and control. You know what I'm saying? They feel like they got money, they got control. If they got control, they got money. Money and control. Right? That's the principle. Money equals control. Control equals money. Right? That's what they live by. Okay? And it's pretty obvious when you really look at this stuff and you go, who did this? Who did this? Right? I would feel bad for America, because right now, if a destroyer angel were to come to America, and God was like, hey, I need to go check in on America real quick for me, because I'm getting a lot of prayers that the United States of America is down bad right now. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people praying, telling me that ain't something not right down there. You know what I'm saying? So let me need you to go down there right real quick and check it out for me. See what they doing. Sends a destroyer angel to the United States of America. And the destroyer angel sees the state of the United States of America and is going, they have lost their minds down here. What? Hold on. And that's why I told y'all, stay off that list. Okay, stay off that list. Do not be doing nothing negative right now. Okay, stay off that list, because I promise you, God's gonna guide you to the light. But if you out here being shysty, you out here perpetuating wickedness and doing things for inequality and inequity, right? You are on God's list. You are on a list right now, and if I were you, I would stay off that list or not get on it in the period. Okay, at all. Right? Because no. So that's I honestly, if really, and then how many people would actually, if Jesus really wants to come down here right now, the way the world looking, most, a good handful of y'all really not gonna make it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the 144,000, they'd be cool, right? Because those are already God's soldiers. They're already soldiers that God has set down here, right? With the few elite ranked individuals in there, sprinkled in, right? They were blended in with the rest of the soldiers, so the government couldn't pinpoint their energy frequency levels, right, when they were coming onto the planet. Okay, because they have those kind of devices that can read your aura. Yeah. There's so many things they don't tell us, guys. Love brain that they don't want us to be aware of. Okay, especially when it comes to energy, because they really do be doing things about energy, guys. They're just not ready to share it with us. Okay. Same with magic. They know all about magic. Okay, don't even put that past them. They know all about it, doing they hoobly doobly musky moon rabbit magic, and they rituals and stuff. You know, sacrificing humans. That's why human trafficking won't get solved unless it's by the rest of us, because the government won't solve it because they need those humans for their sacrifices. Oh, was that too deep? Was that too deep? They need those humans. It's for their sacrifices. Yeah, they are sacrificing humans, and that's why the government has not caught many sex trafficking rings, has not caught many human trafficking rings, right? That's why they're so hard to catch, because of the simple fact that the government doesn't want to catch them. Why? Because you guys heard about the Jeffrey Epstein stuff. How many human trafficking rings were involved in the Jeffrey Epstein case? Well, they don't want to release it. Why? Because then they can't do their human sacrifices anymore, because now people are paying more attention to human trafficking. Oh my goodness. And now they're like, government, do something about the human trafficking. And the government is like, but how are we gonna get our souls? Right? And y'all wondering why they holding on for dear life for these Epstein files. That's why they holding on for dear life, because they know how interconnected these government officials and these elites and stuff like that. This is why they won't put this list out. This list has important names on it. And when I say important, I mean topple their empire important. Everything they've built to keep humanity down, to make sure that we never catch on to how they've set up this matrix, this rat race, right? Keep running in a circle to keep pouring energy into them instead of ourselves, right? Everything they built would come tumbling down if those names were released. Everything. That's why they won't release them, you know what I'm saying? Because it's literally gonna snitch on people you have never even heard of. Okay? And it's going to have elites names on it. Right? 1144. That list has elites you have never heard of, okay? Probably, and I don't want to say probably. Elites, people that are in the Illuminati, Freemasons, right? These are people that are going, okay, they probably even have charges of, slave trade, okay? So they're, this human trafficking, right? That's why they don't want these, names on the Epstein file, because these human trafficking with the Jeffrey Epstein was also leading to different slave trades. So the slave trades, right? There are people who came to Jeffrey Epstein's island, took people with them, whether they bought them or whatever they indulged in to take them with them, right? So their names are on these lists. You know how many powerful people are on that list then, right? Okay, you know how rich and famous Jeffrey Epstein was, where he had elites coming to his house and participating in human trafficking, sex trafficking, and slave trade. Why would they ever want to release that list? Be so honest with yourself. Why would they ever want to release the Jeffrey Epstein list when it literally goes against everything? Hold on 1 second, y'all. But you guys get what I'm saying, though, right? Like, that's the reason they will never release the Epstein files, right? Everybody is like, oh, because Trump is a pedophile. Trump is a pedophile. It's not just about Trump being a pedophile. It's releasing how many other evil entities are also pedophiles, and how much devilish things and demonic things went down at the Epstein's house, okay? That's what they're trying to protect. They're protecting literally the fabric of their secret society. That's what they're protecting. That's how deep this goes, right? It's not about Trump. It is not about Trump, right? Trump, at this point, Trump don't even care if people know he's a pedophile. Man will probably say it out in the open one of these days, okay? So you're like, he'll just say the quiet part out loud. You won't even need the Epstein files, right? These elites are probably going to pressure him anyway into saying something so that y'all get off his back about these Epstein files anyway. So think about it like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why they've been like, no, right? And then, they're of course, right, these people, these officials that are in place so that they can release it, right, they're getting pressured by these elites that if they release this information, it's not going to be good for them. You know what I'm saying? So they're being threatened. Their lives are on the line. Their families being held at pew point. You know what I'm saying? Like, by these elites, because the elites are like, play around and find out. You'll end up like Princess Diana. So you know what I'm saying? Like, and y'all like, dang, you didn't even have to bring up Princess Diana like that, but I did, because that's how far these elites are willing to go. They're willing to make it look like you was in a car crash to make it seem like you just passed away. Something weird happened to you. They're willing to take it to the point where it made it look like you committed SH. You know what I'm saying? They are willing to make it look like an accident. So nobody will ever look into why this happened. You know what I'm saying? They're willing to do those kind of things. They've always been willing to do those kind of things because at the end of the day, control equals money and money equals control. That's their principle. That's what they live by, right? And that's what they think. They honestly think of us like insects, okay? They truly don't believe that we are worth anything, right? They truly believe that we are peasants, right? That we are small to them, okay? That we're just not worth anything to them, you know what I'm saying? They really believe that, all right? And they will do whatever you know what I'm saying? They're going to do whatever they please to the people that we elected, okay, but are still scared of these elites. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like we put pussies in the, excuse my language, but we did kind of put those people who have no backbone into the office. You know what I'm saying? Can't expect Trump to have a backbone because that man just loves to please. And if we talking about elites, oh, that man is on his